It's a real story. A town's nightmare. How one girl's courage brought down a vampire. Greystone Hollow was a town steeped in mystery and legends. Nestled between ancient woods and craggy mountains, it had an eerie charm that drew visitors, but also kept them away after sunset. Cobblestone streets wound through the town, lined with quaint houses, each with its own tale to share. However, as dusk fell, the townsfolk could be overheard exchanging whispers about the dark figure said to roam the nearby forest, the infamous Count Vladislav. Ilara, a bright and spirited 16-year-old, had lived in Greystone Hollow her entire life. Her long, wavy chestnut hair flowed like a river over her shoulders, and her emerald eyes sparkled with curiosity. Every Halloween, she and her friends would gather around the flickering bonfire, swapping ghost stories and daring each other to venture close to the dark edge of the Forest of Shadows, where Count Vladislav was said to dwell. As the daughter of the town historian, Ilara had heard countless stories about the vampire, but she rolled her eyes at the idea of such supernatural beings. Her most cherished possession was a delicate silver locket given to her by her grandmother, a timeless piece that reflected her family's heritage. The old woman had claimed it possessed protective powers, a talisman against all the evil that lurked in the world. "As long as you wear it, my dear, no darkness can touch you," her grandmother had said. To Ilara, it was just a lovely piece of jewelry, until that fateful night. The evening air was cool, and the sickly sweet scent of autumn leaves filled the atmosphere. She was on her way home from school, oblivious to the growing tension that twisted in the hearts of the townspeople. News had spread that children had gone missing, one by one, vanishing into thin air, their absence sending ripples of panic through Greystone Hollow. At dinner, Ilara's father looked grave as he shared the news with her mother. 6 children this month alone. People are starting to talk. Things are getting desperate. Some even suggest it's him, Vladislav. "Don't be ridiculous," her mother replied sharply, setting her fork down. "Vampires aren't real. They're just stories meant to keep children in line." But Ilara's gaze landed on the locket hanging around her neck, its cold surface a reminder of her grandmother's warnings. Whatever was happening, she felt more determined than ever to uncover the truth, not just for herself, but for her friends trapped in the nightmare unfolding in their town. That night, restless and troubled, Ilara decided to take a walk alone under the silvery glow of the full moon. The path leading to the overlook was familiar and serene, but tonight it felt different, charged with an electric energy that hung heavy in the air. As she made her way, her heart pounded in rhythm with the whispers of the wind. When she reached the overlook, a perfect vantage point overlooking the dark forest, she stood at the cliff's edge and breathed deeply, hoping to calm her racing thoughts. Suddenly, she felt a chill creeping down her spine, as if eyes were upon her. In a flurry of movement, a shadow darted between the trees. Then, with a chilling, resonant voice, a letter slipped under her feet, startling her. Heart racing, she picked it up, the paper smooth yet unnaturally cold. Her fingers traced the words written in crimson ink. "To the one who wears the locket of protection, I extend a personal invitation to meet me at the overlook. The darkness is coming, and it seeks a vessel. Your time is near. Count Vladislav." Ilara's breath caught in her throat. The scent of decay wafted through the air as she fought an impulse to run away. Who was this Count Vladislav? A figment of nightmares? Or a true embodiment of the legends that haunted her town? Days passed, and despite warnings echoing in her mind, sleep eluded her as the growing unrest simmered in Greystone Hollow. Each night, she felt a pull to the overlook, an insatiable curiosity battling her fear. The locket felt heavier against her chest, its warmth a fleeting comfort as dread continued to settle within her heart. One fateful evening, she finally resolved to confront the force that had invaded her life. "I'll meet him," she whispered to herself, defiance igniting a fire within. The moon hung high in the sky, illuminating her path as she made her way to the overlook. The air was thick with anticipation. The moment she arrived at the cliff's edge, the atmosphere shifted. The air grew tense and cold as if the world itself paused. Ilara felt the hairs on the back of her neck stand up. Then, through the swirling mist, he emerged, a figure dressed in a long black coat, his features sharp and angular, eyes burning like molten rubies. "Ah, Lara," he purred, a sinister smile curling upon his lips as he approached. "You finally made it." "Count Vladislav," she said, attempting to keep her voice steady. "What do you want from me?" He stepped closer, the darkness enveloping her as she felt the weight of his presence. "Your locket holds immense power, my dear. It binds you to protection. But I come to offer you a choice. Relinquish it and join me. Your blood is pure, a gift to quench my thirst and restore my reign." Ilara took a step back, confronting the gravity of his words. "You're a monster. I won't let you touch me." Vladislav's smile faltered, revealing a glimpse of fury. "You misunderstand. Your town is on the brink of destruction. I could be your savior, returning the balance between light and darkness should you choose to embrace the gift I offer." Panic surged within her as she remembered the stories, the missing children, and the horror that had gripped her town. "I could never help you," she declared resolutely, clutching the locket against her chest. "I'll protect my home, even if it means facing you." His eyes narrowed, and for a moment she felt the chilling grasp of despair creeping in. "So be it," he hissed, revealing fangs as he took a menacing step forward. "But know this. What you possess is worth more than you realize. Remove it, and I shall drink from you. With your blood, I shall reclaim my power." Ilara's instincts kicked in. In that moment of clarity, she realized she had to act fast. She grasped the locket tighter, feeling its warmth radiate through her trembling fingers, a reminder of her grandmother's words. "No!" she shouted defiantly, pulling back from his reach. Vladislav's expression twisted into a rage-filled mask. "Foolish child, you think your valor can fight against me? The darkness hungers, and all must pay the price." He lunged at her, a blur of speed and shadows. With adrenaline surging, Ilara dropped to the ground, narrowly avoiding his grasp. She felt a surge of energy pulsating through her locket, illuminating the shadows around her. Something powerful ignited within her, an instinctive urge to fight, to survive. "Stay back," she cried, pushing the locket forward as if it were a shield. The pendant flickered brightly, casting away the encroaching darkness. "You will not have me." Count Vladislav halted, momentarily blinded by the light emitting from the locket. Fear flashed across his countenance, revealing a vulnerability she hadn't anticipated. What sorcery is this?" he hissed, backing away from the radiant glow. "The power of love and protection," she shouted, gathering her courage. "You are nothing but a parasite living in fear." As she spoke, the light grew brighter, enveloping her entirely. The locket charged with energy, echoing the heartbeat of the town beneath her. Memories flooded her mind, her family, her friends, laughter shared, and the warmth of home. It was this love that fueled her resolve and forged her spirit as a warrior against darkness. "Feel the strength of the ones you have taken," Ilara cried, channeling her thoughts and emotions into the locket. A wave of light erupted from within her, washing over the cliff as it turned the night into day. With a primal roar, Count Vladislav recoiled, a shadow twisting behind him like smoke. The locket, a beacon of hope, pressed against her heart as though resonating with her newfound strength. "You can't," he howled, but Ilara felt unyielding. "You will not take any more." The light surged towards him as if drawn by a magnetic force. The power within her awakened fully, propelling Ilara forward. "Begone, foul creature," she commanded, and the radiance exploded outward, forcing him to shield his eyes. Vladislav was now nothing more than a silhouette against the blinding light, and Ilara pressed on, her heart pounding as she unleashed the locket's protection. "This ends tonight," she cried, channeling every ounce of her love and determination into the radiance. As the light enveloped Vladislav, he screamed, a primal sound that echoed through the night, reverberating against the trees. The very fabric of the darkness surrounding him began to unravel, and for the first time, she saw fear in his eyes. "No, this cannot be," he bellowed, trying desperately to claw back into the shadows. "I will return. You cannot banish me forever." But Ilara held her ground, radiating strength and clarity. "Your reign of terror is over, Vladislav. Greystone Hollow will rise again. In a final burst of energy, the light overwhelmed him, disintegrating the darkness that had wrapped around him like a shroud. Vladislav's screams echoed into the night as he dissolved into a haze, leaving nothing behind but the faintest whisper of despair. As the light faded, Alara stood alone at the overlook, the first rays of dawn painting the sky in hues of gold and soft pink. She inhaled slowly, the air around her fresh and alive, finally free from the grip of darkness. With trembling hands, she clutched the locket, now warm and pulsating against her skin. She understood now. It was not just a talisman, but a source of strength tied to every person she loved. The memories woven into it were a part of her, and they had transformed her into the protector of her town. Returning to Greystone Hollow, Alara found the town bathed in a new light, as if the suffocating shadows had been lifted. Residents emerged from their homes, eyes wide with wonder, whispers of restored hope exchanging between them. "Did you hear? The missing children have returned," a woman exclaimed as Alara walked past. "They were found unharmed in the forest, lost but safe." Alara smiled, tears of joy welling in her eyes. The darkness that had threatened her home was gone, and her heart swelled with relief. The locket hung around her neck, a reminder of her triumph over evil. As the townsfolk gathered in the square, embracing and celebrating the return of their loved ones, Alara felt a sense of belonging unlike any other. She knew that her battle was not just against Vladislav, but against fear itself. Those who lived in Greystone Hollow had reclaimed their lives, their laughter echoing through the cobblestone streets once again. Yet, deep down, she knew the battle wasn't truly over. She had felt Vladislav's presence lingering on the edge of her consciousness, his whispers haunting her dreams. Though he had been banished, the dark remnants of his influence still flickered precariously. With newfound resolve, Alara pledged to protect her town, to honor the love and spirit that resided within them all, for she understood now that the fight against darkness was a continuous one. Months passed, and Alara took on the role of guardian in Greystone Hollow, ensuring that the light remained bright and the darkness held at bay. She often stood at the overlook, looking out over the forest, locket clutched in her hand, forever vigilant. One evening, on the anniversary of her victory, the town gathered to celebrate. Bonfires crackled, stories flowed, and laughter danced through the air like fireflies in the night. She joined her friends by the warm glow, but her thoughts drifted to those who had once been lost. The light from her locket shimmered softly in the flickering firelight. Alara knew that love. It was the true power, a force that could illuminate even the darkest corner of the mind and heart. The legends would continue to weave tales of bravery and darkness, but she'd ensure that whispers of Vladislav remained just that. As she looked into the warm faces of her friends and family, Alara reaffirmed her promise. She would always protect them, and the locket would forever shine the brightest when faced with the shadow of despair. And just beyond the trees, deep within the shadows, a pair of red eyes lingered, watching. Though Count Vladislav was no longer a threat, his spirit still slithered through the night, a reminder that darkness never truly dies. The battle was far from over, and Alara would forever stand as its unwavering guardian.